Good morning once again. The first thing I would like to do is thank you. I've actually thanked you before, as everybody hopefully remembers from a couple weeks ago now. The first time I thanked you was because you were a potential jury. I thanked you again because you were in fact selected to be the jury of the statements. And now finally I'm thanking you because I paid attention. I know Mr. Segura and Mr. Prince also paid attention. And you've done exactly what it is that we asked you to do. That is to come in here and listen throughout the course of the case. You've paid diligent attention. You've asked questions for a very, very long trial. Obviously, you've adjusted your schedules in order to do this particular duty. And I thank you very much because, as I said before, we literally cannot do this without you. So let's talk about this case for Mr. Segura now that's been said. The judge went over the elements of the crime. So what I'm going to do is, as the judge said, I get an opportunity to talk to you on two different occasions. I get to talk to you now and what we call rebuttal, so I'll get to talk to you again after Mr. Prince does. Right now what I want to do is I want to go over the elements of the crime and how it is that the state has met its burden of proving against Mr. Segura. The judge has instructed you as to what the law is. That's what we just did. I tried to do the best I possibly can up here. Sometimes I may summarize it a little bit. I may even change that order, which is exactly what I did here. But again, the judge is the one that instructs you the law, not me, not Mr. Prince. So make sure you pay attention. You follow the law as he instructed you to do. First thing we're going to talk about, element number one, victim is dead. Keep in mind, what we're talking about is one count for each victim. The judge has gone over this with you. Count number one is Brandy Peters. Have you proven Brandy Peters dead? Count number two, Maya Peters, again. Count number three, Tanaya Peters, her twin sister. And count number four, your monthly Segura. Element number one has been met. We have proven that all of it is met. The next thing we're going to talk about, this is that out order I just talked about, because quite frankly, I think we'll all agree the biggest question is how we prove that Mr. Segura is the one who's responsible for this. But we still have to go through and talk about each one. Element number two is, was there a premeditated killing of the victim? Judge just described this, defined this. The killing with premeditation is a killing after consciously deciding to do so. The decision must be in the presence of mind at the time of the killing. Does not fix a set amount of time, but there has to be enough for him to actually reflect on it. So let's talk about Brandy Peters. Brandy Peters was shot 7 to 8 times. When she was killed, the person who killed her decided to kill her when we brought a gun to the house initially. But remember, she shot. Somebody has to actually bring the gun to them. Ladies and gentlemen, guns are for a purpose to kill, especially in this situation. So did they decide to bring the killer when they brought the gun? Got to kill her after the first shot. The second shot. Third shot. Fourth. The fifth. The sixth. Remember the testimony of Mr. Foggy. All bullets found on scene, 10 of them, were fired from the same gun. One person didn't shoot. Testimony of Mr. Foggy. This gun typically holds 5 to 6 rounds, bullets. Assuming this is a 6-round weapon, they decided to get her after reloaded. The 7, 8, 9, 10th shot, 11 shot. We had 10 of them recovered, but remember one went out that back window. 11 shots. At what point during all this was the person deciding to kill her? How about when she gets outside and whoever it is drags her back inside and then starts beating her? Which hit? Remember, Dr. Flanagan tells you she didn't die because of the bullet wounds. She didn't die for the multiple wounds that she had all over her body from being hit. She died from this one. So at what point during all of this is the person that's killing her, or the person that's beating her, I decided to kill her? Let's talk about Tamaya Peters. Tamaya Peters, if you recall, is the 6-year-old that got shot the one time. Dr. Flanagan's testimony is that was the one shot that killed her right away. Premeditation. This is an instruction the judge read to you. If a person is premeditated, designed to kill one person, and attempting to kill that person actually killed another person, the killing is premeditated. What does this mean? Well, let's say in this scenario, Mr. Segura is shooting at Brandy Peters and instead hits Tamaya Peters. That's where this would come into play if you feel that that's what happened during the course of this event. I'm not entirely sure that's what happened, but if that is what you believe and that's what the evidence showed you, then this is what we call transfer intent. So the intent to kill Mrs. Peters because he's shooting at her multiple times. If he hits Tamaya Peters in the process, that is what we call transfer intent. And he is still guilty of the premeditation. Premeditation transfers from one victim to the next. Talk about denying and Devontae. Brown and Black letter. Again, remember the testimony of Dr. Flanagan. 10 to 20 seconds after they breathe in the water, it takes to die and drown. 10 to 20 seconds. At what point in this situation did he decide to kill her? Was it when he put him in his tub in the first place? When he filled his tub up with the water? When he held him down for the 10 seconds? That's just 10 seconds of holding that child under water. And remember, it's 10 seconds after they breathe in water. So if they're holding their breath underneath that water, it's not until they finally have to breathe. And then it's 10 more seconds. There's another issue, a legal determination. The judge instructed you regarding felony murder. In order to find that, again, for felony murder, you don't prove premeditation. In this situation, the elements are the victim is dead. While engaged in the commission of a homicide, the Segura caused the death of the victim. In this case, we're talking about Tamaya, and Devontae. Of course, Henry Segura was the person that actually killed the victim. And he's going to get to that in a minute. What does that mean? What that means is if you determine that Mr. Segura went over to the house and he went over there to kill Brandy Peters. And in the process of killing Brandy Peters, ends up killing the kids. Didn't necessarily have a premeditated aspect to it. but he ends up killing her. And that's what this implies. Again, I would submit to you that all four of them are premeditation. We just covered that. They can also be, as the judge instructed you in reading the jury instruction, they can be felony murder as well as premeditated murder. A little confusing, but again, I submit to you that this is a situation where both premeditation murder as well as the felony murder apply. Because not only did he do the premeditated and make a conscious decision to kill them, to eliminate the witnesses, as we've heard, as we all know that's why they were killed. But he also did it when he came over there in the first place to kill Frank Stevens. So now, let's talk about Mr. Segura. How is it proven that Amy Segura did it? There's no smoking gun or DNA. We all know that. What you have to do as a juror, prior facts, is that you have to put each piece of this puzzle together. You have to become the investigator. You have to evaluate each piece of evidence and what they mean. You have to take each piece of those evidence and you have to put them together. You have to use those tools that we talked about during jury selection. Your common sense, your education, whatever it is. The tools that you use day in and day out, as well as the tools that you learn here in court. Because what did you learn here in court? Investigator Lewis talked about what it is that he looks for during the course of an interview. What his skills have talked about and instructed him, what his classes have instructed him to look at when conducting the interview. Deceit, lack of emotions when they should be there. The wrong emotions. All of those things that he talked about are things that you now have been instructed on and you can utilize. You can utilize the information that you learned from Mrs. DeBravo, as well as Mrs. Joanne Brown, medical examiner across the board. How DNA is left. We talked about DNA. DNA isn't always there. The only way you leave DNA is if you deposit something with your DNA on it. If whoever it is that killed Ms. Peters doesn't get a cut that causes him to bleed onto the floor, doesn't leave his semen anywhere, he's not going to leave his DNA for us to find. In addition to that, Joellen Brown told you, as much as Ms. Peters bled all over that area, it would mask and hide any person else that's out there. It would drown out. Again, you take the evidence as a whole. Jury instructions were just read to you. You compare and weigh all the evidence. You take and compare it and then test the testimony to find out whether it agrees with the other testimony or the other evidence in the case. And you use those skills. We all know there's no DNA found. Investigator Lewis told you how it is that you go about trying to solve these crimes. Go old school. I think it's the word you use. You look for the pieces of the puzzle. There's the motive, the means, and the opportunity. Motive. Why? Investigator Lewis told you that throughout these courses that he's gone through and his experience that he has, when you're talking about a crime of violence like this, the beating that occurred, the wounds that she had, it usually involves a lot of anger. Very, very angry individual that did this. He told you that usually in these situations, usually involve money, love, relationships, or both. Segura, voter child support. $700 something a month. $20,000 in arrears. It's an ongoing dispute that they have. Again, Monday's vote. Remember, he's getting letters from the Department of Revenue telling him that driver's license suspended, professional licenses suspended, wages garnished, tax returns being taken, and the final letter, incarceration. We heard previously from his the parent of his other child, that she actually had him locked up. He knew what the consequences were. Didn't want to go through it again. Remember, the Department of Revenue paperwork. He didn't believe his child was his. In July of that same year, just a couple months beforehand, he submits the Department of Revenue paperwork into the child support saying, allegedly. He purposely writes in, allegedly. He wants the Department of Revenue, state of Florida, to pay for that DNA testing that he's talking about. It says allegedly. Did it repeatedly. Not only on that one paperwork, but repeatedly he said, child was not his. He didn't believe this kid was his. So now he goes child support on a child he didn't believe. Going to go to jail for a child he doesn't believe is his. And remember what Calvin Moore told us. Calvin Moore told him that he and Mr. Segura had talked about a job in Afghanistan. 6 figures. Mr. Segura has been out of work because of that previous injury. He finally got back on the job a little bit and was working down in Tampa when all this stuff happened. He just came back from Tampa that week. But he's behind. He's behind on his mortgage. He's behind on all of his payments, all his bills collectors. He's got a way out. He's got a job waiting for him, 6 figures in Afghanistan. Can't get it. He owes that much in back child support. She's standing in the way of him getting it. He even went to Tamika, the parent of his other child, and asked her whether she would release him from the child support so that way he can go get more money. And Miss Peters wasn't willing to do so. Standing in the way of him getting that job in Afghanistan. Getting angry? And ultimately, remember what we talked about in the jury session. We never may fully understand the reason why. So basically, from the conversation I had with my family members, Thanksgiving. I not fully understand why. But ladies and gentlemen, these are certainly motives. Being angry at Miss Peters. And provide a motive for Mr. Segura to kill. And that's what it means. We heard about the wounds from Dr. Flanagan. The crushed skull. The crushed skull. That takes a brutal amount of strength. That's a very, very strong man that did that. Shot. Let's go. Mr. Segura, big guy, welder, used to moving steel around on a regular basis and welding it, holding it in place and welding it. He has to be that strong for a job. Certainly strong enough to crush on the skull. Remember, the weapon in this case is a .32 caliber pistol. Remember, Calvin Moore, lifelong friend. Saw him with a .32 caliber. Callum Moore, experience in military, knows weapons, knows the difference between a revolver and a semi-automatic, obviously knows the difference between a pistol and a rifle. Sees it in Mr. Segura's car, asks him the question, Mr. Segura tells him it's a 32. Not a 9mm, much more common. Not a 45 caliber, much more common. 32 caliber. 38 is much more common. Not 32. Relatively uncommon round. Well, Mr. Morris, what's he have? The exact same weapon that was used during the course of the homicide. Remember, also asked Tyrell Coxon for a gun. On the week of the homicide, he goes to Tyrell Coxon and says, do you have a gun? I can use a throwdown gun. The week of the homicide. Coincidence? Why would he do that? Because he knows he really shouldn't be using his own gun. So he's got to try and find another one. She says no. Not a choice. So next we go to opportunity. When was the murder? Who had access to the house? Who was at the house during the time? So let's talk first about the time of the murder, because that's how we have to establish this. First and foremost, we go to the cell phone analysis. And we look at the dates and times. And what we know is that we talked to her friends, we talked to Monica, her sister. Miss Peters, Brandy Peters, is someone who uses her phone all the time. So on. Text messages, phone calls, whatever. We know that she is on a very long call with her sister, Monica, right here. 6:11. 2,500 seconds. I haven't done the math, really long time. She gets a call in at 6:50. So that's passive. Remember our testimony from Investigator Corbett, Sergeant Corbett, excuse me. That passive versus active. A passive event is a phone receiving thing. So if you leave it back in the jury room, that's somebody calls. That's a passive event because you're not manipulating the phone. So, passive versus active. Active event would be one in which Ms. Peters is actually using the phone. Indicating the phone is actually being utilized in the hands of someone. Those are the differences. And the very last active event that we know that she was using that phone and manipulating that phone was at 6:53 p.m. Everything afterwards is passive. We also know through the testimony of Sergeant Corbett that this 713 call, which was routed to her voicemail, is the last time that the phone is in contact with the tower. At 8:21, doesn't show up on the other report. At 8:21, her phone is dead. Quite frankly, so is she. Again, we're going to compare and see how all that evidence matches. Artron Timmons last saw the kids around 5:45. They were over at his house eating. He had previously seen them eating the Burger King in the front yard. We found a receipt for the Burger King, 4:30 in the afternoon. Must sound like crime scenes. So we know that they were eating sometime between that 4:30 and 5:45 time period. So then we turn to the autopsy. Dr. Flanagan tells you that when she analyzed the food content or the stomach content on kids, that they were still digested, partially digested food, indicating that they had eaten sometime within a few hours. Dr. Ron Timmons sees a meeting between 5 and 6 o'clock. You know that 8:21 she's dead. That's what I would tell you. Consistently. Comparing, putting together. All that is consistent with each other. What did we talk about? So now let's take a look even closer to pieces of the puzzle. One of the things that's looked for, investigator Lewis told you, during the course of an interview, is emotions or lack of emotions, or improper emotions, if you will. Laughing is inappropriate. A giggle when you just told your son to die.
Do you have any idea who would want to hurt these people?
Shoot, girl Pint, one doesn't have. She was saying they thought my son was with some other guy, and she said that the two girls, the kids, were killed. My son wasn't found in the house, and she said she think that he's with some guy who she's saying is his daddy, and something like that.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I'm not sure.
Is DeJuan your son? No. Javante, is he your son?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old is Javante?
3.
Okay. Javante is in the house.
He was in the house. He in the house? What I mean, he was in the house, found in the house?
He's in the house.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to tell you, but he's passed away.
Yeah, she told me that they found the girls and the boy wasn't in the house. They think that he's with his dad. Some guy she's claiming was his dad. So that she, the girl Pint, who's on my son's house. Then when I went back over there, she said, no, they did find him in the house.
He's just been told that his son is dead. Keep in mind also what he tells you. He tells you he gets a phone call earlier. He talks to the girl for braiding the hair earlier, and she says and tells him that your son may not be there. He may have been actually taken by this other guy, but it may also be there. Yeah, Mr. Segura doesn't make a phone call. He doesn't make a call to law enforcement to find out what's going on. He doesn't go to the house to find out what's going on. He doesn't do any of that stuff to check on him. To check on his son. To check up on the 2 little girls that he potty trained and lived with for a year that called him daddy. Never checked on him. Never makes a phone call to find out. Instead, he takes his other son to get his hair braided. To cover up the issue every time. When he talks to law enforcement officers, ask him for a cell phone number.
Since you're traveling the road a lot, what are your cell phone numbers, or your cell phone number, or how to get a hold of you to follow up with this case?
850-509-4380.
Are there any other numbers? What is that?
421-1288.
But your dad and your mom, what are their numbers?
570-8339. That's my mom. 459-3758. That's my dad.
Is it this 5708339, is that cell phone?
Yes, both of them, the sales.
Cell phone?
Yeah,
Or is there a primary home number, or is that 421 the primary number?
that's my home, yes.
Okay. And while you're on the road, is there a on-site, do they have a cell phone that they provide you, or do they have a hotel, or is there something that they provide you for contact, or mail, or P.O. box? Okay.
November 20, 2010, day the body was discovered. Asking for cell phone number. Rattle off all kinds of numbers. But never tell them about 408-8669. They went back and talked to him again, 10 days later. And again, asked him, what's your cell phone numbers? Again, he doesn't give them 408-8669. It's not until 2 hours in that he's finally confronted by investigator, now from Wisconsin. I know you've got another number. I know you've got another number. And he finally says, I don't have another number. I used to have another number, but I don't have another number. What's that number? 408-8669. But I threw it away months, way before it rained. That's not true, Mr. Lewis says, or Mr. Johnson says. I know you were talking on Monday. Oh yeah, but I threw it away. Where'd you throw it away? Threw it in the trash can. But you can't get to it now because trash can been picked up. Continually lied about that 408 number. And we know the 408 number was still in his possession at the time of his, obviously the cell phone in the houses. But we also know, as Tyrell Coxon says, that he had that 408 number. And it wasn't until the week, just after a couple of days after the homicide, the bodies were discovered, that he called her and said, don't call me on that number anymore, I don't have it anymore. Got rid of it at that point. We know from the cell phone analysis that 408 number doesn't work anymore. Get rid of it. It's covered. Tell law enforcement, I'm home all day long. All day on Friday, I'm home. Tell them that in the first interview, keep in mind that first interview, he actually wasn't a suspect. The first interview was really for the purposes of informing about his son being dead, Randy being dead, and the twins being dead. And the questions started rising during that first interview, so they asked him a couple more questions about where were you. In that first interview, he says, I was home all day. 23 times in the second video alone, he says, I was home all day. Come back to the November 20th interview. This long, drawn-out answer about where he was.
Yesterday, Friday.
Yes.
Okay. Just take me through your day. You get up, what time about you get up?
7. And I got to run the kids to school now.
Okay. So, this is just yesterday, Friday. Did you take this to school?
Yep.
Okay. So, what time would that have been?
Then on 7:30, 7:45. I got Sundays to Woodville Elementary.
Okay. So,
And I got another Sundays to Carl Elementary. I mean, middle school. Carl Middle School.
okay.
My brother. I dropped him off at Woodville. Went to the Southside McDonald's. Dropped him off at went to McDonald's on Magnolia. And went home.
Okay. So, after you dropped yourself off at Cobb, you went to McDonald's? On Magnolia? Okay. Then you went. You have any idea what time that was or when you went home?
9:30. It was before 10 o'clock, because I was still listening to Steve Harvey on the show.
Okay.
They go over 10.
Alright. So you get back between 9:30 and 10, then what you do at home?
I went inside and started taking my fenders and doors off the car.
Okay.
Trying to do an off-frame restoration.
Okay. You're working on your car from 10 something to what, like the afternoon? You have to pick your kids up too, or?
My wife is one.
Okay. So, when does your wife usually get home?
5:15 or something.
Okay. Were you home until then? Till she got home? Okay. Yeah. What about after she came home? Did you stay at the house the rest of the night, or?
Yes.
You did? Okay. And she texted you on Friday around, you remember what time that was? When you were working on your car?
It was about 11:20.
Okay.
2:20. It was 7:20. Maybe 1:20.
Okay. Was it 120 or 220? Doesn't really make a difference.
I didn't know.
We'll just say that. Okay. So you were there till your wife came home 5:15, and then you guys didn't go out for dinner or anything, you stayed there? Okay. And you were there to the night? Okay. So this morning, Saturday, you know, to get up to the kids to school, you still get up that early? I won't blame you. What time do you think you got up this morning?
8 o'clock probably. Probably did wake up at 7:30, but so I went to Walmart. And what you call it? Program.
Okay. Yesterday, Friday night, you said you were home until 2, went to bed. About what time do you think you went to bed? You step late or get
I
better?
fell asleep around 10, so
Okay.
what was I watching? I was watching movie 7 years ago, something.
Okay.
I don't know what time it was on sleep, but it was on the part where you just broke out of prison camp. That now.
Your wife did a bit about the same time, or she did a bit earlier than you, or later?
I don't know what time she went to bed.
Okay. You don't know if she was asleep before or after you? Okay. Did you sleep in the bed, or in the family room watching TV, or?
On the sofa.
Okay. Was she out there too, or was she in the bed?
She was in bed. When I woke up to my TV was off.
Okay, so she already had turned the TV on. So when you got up this morning, was she gone, or was she still there?
She was just.
Alright, so after Walmart, Crawfordville, what did you do after that?
I went to my buddy, Adam, I work with him.
Okay.
Big long drawn out story. Taking doors off the car, off-body restoration. 10 o'clock I went to sleep, watching 7 Years in Tibet. I remember what scene it was when I fell asleep. That's not true either. We know it's not true. He talked to Natasha Hawthorne Smith at 10 o'clock that night and said he was down passing Publix, is what he told her. Said he was going to, when he was on the stand, he even admitted to leaving. Even that wasn't true. Second video, 10 days later, still sticking to a story.
So I guess I'm just gonna say Friday he was at the house all day.
Investigator Lewis says, so that Friday you were there at the house all day. Stares at him for 10 seconds. So you're at the house all day on Friday. Look at this look. Doing cell phone calls. He told us. Now keep in mind, at this point, he still has not given that 408-8669 number. He still thinks that law enforcement only knows about his 509 number, his primary number.
What would you say if I told you that people are telling us that you weren't home on Friday? And like I said, I want to leave everything you said. I have to try to verify that you're at your house on Friday. Okay? Any suggestion on how I did it? Did you go to a store to pick up a part? Did you talk to anybody? Did anybody come visit you? Anything like that? Did neighbors stop in your house? Anything like that that could help me?
By lunch.
Check my phone.
Do
I talk to my wife. She knows that she called me.
you say you talk to your wife? Did she call you at your house or on social?
Called on my cell phone before she did work.
Okay. All right. About what time was that?
Before 7.
Take the phone. It's alibi. We did. But we went and checked this 408 number that it refused to give law enforcement. That law enforcement found out through work investigation. And when they go back and they check the cell phone, it doesn't show no more. Put them right there. I'm not an exactly right. And it's not just his phone records that they check. They then go out and conduct the experiment using that TV phone. And they stand in Randy Peters' living room. And they make data, text, cell phone calls. And they get the data from that. And then they go back and compare it. And this is where you can see we go to side back and forth and report does. But we all know what we saw, and that's what was shown on the DVD. This is Segura. Exactly simple. And it's not just a cell phone analysis that shows he wasn't home when he said he was home. But it's a law enforcement 23 times in the second video alone. With a law enforcement the first time we said he was. It's not only the fact that he's covering up that 408 phone number. Throws away the 408 number, which is the one he used for communication. The law enforcement goes out and gets the actual text message data from Verizon. These are the text messages that came during the span from Verizon and the content. This is the number on Tuesday of the homicide. This is the text message from Brandy Peters to Mr. Segura. I can't wait to get y'all's taxes. I'm going to call the IRS and tell them we're all living together so I can get both y'all's money LOL. Just calling it. Mama bitch, I'm going to call them and do them in the morning so they don't pay your ass to be in jail. Have them thrown in jail. Obviously not responding, that's fine, you don't have to text back, but I'm going to see you in court calling people today. Again, Tuesday. But remember, that's the same day that Tyler Wilcoxon says that he showed up at her house as mad as Virgin all day, asking for a gun. Never seen anybody like that. Same day as these text messages. But again, it's the cover of the picture. Because when law enforcement goes back and self-writes and downloads the content, this is sent to the 509 number, the one that he's actually told law enforcement about. Because that's the only number that Randy knew. When law enforcement gets Mr. Segura's phone, and they do the data dump off that phone, the cell write as it was called, they're not there. It's leading. All gone. Again, law enforcement able to get content of text messages. These are the text messages that Mrs. Segura is sending Henry Segura throughout the day. Call me back. Remember, he's not where that 509 number is. This is all to the 509 number. She doesn't know that 408. She's saying, call me back. Answer the phone. This is on the 19th. I need to stay late. I'll never get ahead at work because she can't depend on me. He won't call her back. Remember what he said in his interview? She was part of his alibi. She came home. She saw me there. Again, 19th, 8 o'clock in the p.m. I'm so through with you being such a effed up husband. You're no one that I can seem to depend on since you got lost so easy. I need to have my back again today, and you were nowhere to be found. I think that I finally get the hint that you don't have my back, so I shouldn't have yours. He tells law enforcement she's his alibi, but even these text messages tell you that she never saw him that day, never talked to him that day. Wasn't home that day when she got home. 8 o'clock at night. And ladies and gentlemen, again, this came from Verizon. When you go in and you look at the cell bright, and actually look at Mr. Segura's phone, delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Again, you go back to our instructions. After carefully considering and preparing the all the evidence, as well as testimony or evidence in this case, I agree with the other testimony and evidence in the case. Again, take everything as a whole. Gone through, he's deleted the motive, the taunting that Ms. Peters is doing him. He's deleted the text messages from his wife that blow up his alibi about being home all day. What else do we know? We know the only thing known to be missing from Randy's house is her cell phone. Mr. Segura has the ability to go in and delete the stuff off his phone. But he wouldn't have had the ability to go in and delete the stuff off of his user's phone. That's why the phone was great. It's to cover up, again, getting rid of the evidence. Let's talk about DNA for a second. You heard me say it earlier. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. I didn't say that, or say you said that. Much smarter man than me. DNA. But ladies and gentlemen, Henry Segura admitted to being in the house eventually, and he didn't admit that until you heard it. So what does the lack of DNA tell us? Doesn't tell us he wasn't there, but he wasn't. We know he was there through cell phone analysis. We know he was there because that's what he told us. He admits on stand being there till 8:30. And don't forget, we actually have a confession as well. Mr. Kennard. Mr. Kennard and Mr. Segura are cellmates in Oklahoma. Mr. Kennard is not from here. Mr. Kennard wasn't involved in this in any way, shape, or form, except for the fact that Mr. Segura and him were cellmates. When you're taking and paying attention to Mr. Kennard's testimony, again, we go back to our jury instructions. We're comparing all the evidence and how they meet together, comparing Mr. Kennard's statement with the other evidence in the case, other statements in the case, other witnesses in the case, and what did they show us? What did he tell Mr. Kennard? Tell Mr. Kennard killed 4 people. Clearly what we're dealing with. Remember, Mr. Kennard's in Oklahoma City. How would you know about this case? You know that one's right. What did he tell you about Mrs. Segura? Mrs. Segura would wake up screaming. Nightmares. Again, he killed 4 people. Brutally beat Miss Peters. When he gave him nightmares, waking up screaming from him, reliving them. Mr. Segura told Mr. Kennard that he killed the baby mom because of child support, because she wouldn't take him off. How does that compare to Calvin Moore? About Afghanistan, can't even get that 6-figure job if he's got all that back child support. How does that compare with the other mother of his child? And the fact that Mrs. Segura was asking to get off child support so he'll get a better paying job. How does that compare to the cell phone text? We know she's hitting him up for child support. She's threatening him to take him to jail. She's talking about getting his IRS payments. We know there's a child support issue because he's told law enforcement that there's an ongoing child support issue, but he minimizes it, says it's not a big deal. Text messages say otherwise. Again, that statement is backed up by the Department of Revenue paperwork. Department of Revenue paperwork says taking your IRS, taking your license, taking your tax return, taking your license, both professional and your driver's license. He's an on-the-road welder. He needs that license to get where he's going. And ultimately, the Department of Revenue paperwork says we're going to have to send you to jail. So how does that statement add up? Or how does that compare to the other evidence in the case? And it does. Again, how would Mr. Kennard know that? Unless he was told by Mr. Segura. Mr. Segura told him that he shot her and 1 kid. Police claiming it says Randy Peters was shot, Mike Peters was shot. Mr. Segura tells Mr. Kennard he had to drown 2 of them. Dr. Flanagan tells you tonight Peters and Demonte Segura were drowned. Again, I didn't know it. Unless Mr. Segura doesn't. Mr. Segura tells Mr. Kennard that he hid the gun in an engine of an old car. How does that compare to the other evidence in the case? Again, cell phone contact from Verizon 3 days after the homicide occurred. On the 22nd. Tells his friend, couldn't say on the phone, but I need him to come get this car. I don't care if he gives me nothing for it. He just wants that car gone. Why? That's what he's doing. But again, the coward. When they go in, they self-right. They look at Mr. Segura's phone, they leave it. Finally, Mr. Segura tells Mr. Kennard, very interesting piece of evidence, very interesting part of that statement, that he went and asked a girlfriend for a gun, and she said no. Again, how would Mr. Kennard know that? Mr. Kennard never met Harold Dawson. asked the girlfriend for a gun, and she said no. And we know that's exactly what happened. So how does that statement that Mr. Kennard told law enforcement, or law enforcement, how does that comport to match up with the rest of the evidence? And the answer is, it doesn't. Finally, there's that Minnesota, it's called right here. Jail call.
Looking like a day was mine to you. It was looking like a day was mine to you. It was looking like a day was mine for you.
Mrs. Segura is talking the whole time about how she's given up her life for him. And what does he say? It's looking like I gave up mine for you as he's sitting in the jail. Shortly thereafter, he goes down in his desperation and he blows his father's life. He's gone off to Minnesota to try and get back on his feet some way, shape, or form. A year later, he gets arrested. He's talking to his wife, sitting in jail facing homicide charges. Looking like he gave up his life for her. Tried to get out from underneath the burden of that child support with Ms. Beers. Quite frankly, probably thought he got away with it because we knew later. But no, he got arrested. And in that desperational aspect, he has this conversation with Mrs. Segura. Shortly thereafter, he's in Oklahoma City talking to Mr. Kennard. Bad part of his life, obviously. That's what he told her. He gave up his life for her. Tells Mr. Kennard what he told him. So we need to match it to the rest of the evidence. He said, no way to know. But for the fact, Mr. Segura was born. Has to be the story. Has to be. Ladies and gentlemen, you add up all this evidence, and you take all of it into account, and you weigh it against each other, piece of evidence, how they fit together. Ladies and gentlemen, that adds up to a guilty verdict. Good gentlemen, very few. To my opinion. To my opinion. You want this one?
We'll take 15 minutes. Here, step out. We'll stay in session.